because I know you'll need somewhere to do that. So today I want us to cover a number of things. This story, I'm gonna do it practical. Last time tulijifunza how to print something out in Java, if you want to print the hello world, things like so. Basically, a few things to do with variable na tukaachia hapo. Today I want us to cover something more. I want us to cover at least a statement, hata kama ni moja. Then I want us to learn how to, if you want to give something, if the user wants to give something to the program so that it can process. How do we do that in Java? I know it's a little bit different, but we're going to see that. And we are also going to see what we call math operators, kiasi, and logic operators, and how we use them in Java. So basically it will be just that, then takafungia hapo. I guess I'll have to share my screen as always. Then leo ndakuwa quicker kiasi, so if you have a question, if you have a question, itakuwa poa sana. If you can use your mic, I'll appreciate it. If you can, maybe you're in a noisy place, just send a text it and a notification. I'm going to be a little bit quicker. But anyway, I hope you'll do a follow-up. So today I decided to change my location on my machine because I wanted something more faster. I've already created my project in Java. I've called it variables. I have one main class. It's called variable. And just like before, everything in Java you said it goes inside the class. So we have a class declaration and a class name, of course. Then inside that class, we have that one main method. Now, last time we explained main method, and I said anytime your computer runs a Java program, for it to understand where to begin from, how to run those codes, it needs a special type of inbuilt method to know that, and that special type inbuilt method is called the main method. So for every Java program, for it to run, it will need at least this main method. You can have many methods if you want, but at least make sure you have this one for everything to run. For instance, if I can just try and do a very quick system by spelling system dot. And just try to print something out very quick. And print ln. I'll do this. Actually, I don't know my mistake here. Because it's outside the main method, sour. Anyway, if I try to run this one, no, it won't run. Let me try to use it on top here, but I know it's the same. Anyway, fine. If you want to run such a code, make sure you run it inside this main method. But if you kitaka run outside, there's a way you can do it. This is NetBeans 12. I know there's a configuration if you want to do that. But if you use a lower version of NetBeans, it should accept that. I'm used to version 8, so I'm also beginning to use version 12, but pretty much the same. So if I try this one now, Shift F6 to run it, it should just give me hello. Please be quick, please be quick. Yeah, like sure. So this is what we did last time. Now this time, that is printing something out to the user. What if you want the user to give us something? Let's say because we're in a few, we're going to make a very simple program, a calculator kind of a program that adds two numbers or do inafanya 1, 2. For that, we shall need the user to be inputting something. And it's just like any other system. Maybe you're registering, maybe you're logging in, maybe you're filling some. Anytime you give a program or a computer something, you are keying something. It should be able to take it. That is the respective program. In Java, to do that, we use what we call an inbuilt library, and that library is called scanner. So for us to use scanner, we have to import that package. We have to import that package and that library called scanner. So how to import it is not so important, but how to use it. Because nowadays we are using either Eclipse or any idea here, you know. If you don't import, it will prompt you to import. But anyway, let me do it from scratch. So to import a package in Java, usually begin with the name import, then the location. This one is scanner. Scanner is located under Java dot till dot scanner, and scanner is capital S. Don't forget that. Make sure to terminate that statement with the semicolon as always. So that way, to import that package called scanner. Once to import, we can use it. We can use it. So to use it, allow me to run this one off. To use it, kuna kitu inaitwanga to create an instance of that package. So to create that instance, you type scanner, and remember S is capital, and we shall give it a name. It's like it's a variable kind, right? But not primitive like integers and string. So scanner, we can call it SC equals to new scanner. Then put a bracket over here, then net. Then inside here, I type system dot in, like so. So that any time itakuwa ina run in understanding time, it is using that scanner, its system gets something. The other one is system dot out when it's printing. This one is system dot in. So that is how you create an instance of your scanner. First, make sure you import it, then come and create the instance. So the instance is called SC. To make it up, it's become a variable, a created variable called SC. But type of this variable is called a scanner type of variable. But anyway, tukifanya more, you'll get to understand. And if you don't get them, you can still reach out to me later. Nikakuexplainia more like I've done before to a few of you. For instance, let's say you may import scanner, you forgot, but anyway, you know how to use it. It will give you those red marks telling you there's an error somewhere. If you come and click on this error button here, the first option, it will tell you to import Java util scanner. If you click on enter, itakufanya that importation automatic, as you can see. So that's what I was saying. It's not important for you to know how to import the package. It's how to use it. Importing, tukienda kwa effects huko mbele, hata kwa tunashughulika itakuwa automatic. You just use it. Ikikupea red marks, type import. You won't be bothering what it's on top there. Anyway, fine. So how do we use it? So for instance, let's say I want to get a name from the user. Of course, to pick something from the user, we have to store it somewhere before we can use it. Because you know, in every program, anytime unaingiza data inakuwa stored mahali, inakuanga stored in form of what we're calling a variable. We said variables are containers, yeah. So we'll need a variable to store our data from the user. So data user akitupatia jina or anything, we store it somewhere so that we can use it later. For our case, we can use a string. So let me say string my name, like so. Then the value, this is a variable called my name. The value of this one will be coming from the user. So we use the scanner. It's sc dot next line. Next line, I don't need to type all of it. You can simply select and remember to terminate, like so. So this one will mean anytime you run this program, ikifika hapa kwa hii string, it will be prompting the user to enter something. In a prompt user enter something. Why? Because you are using the system dot in. Ingekuwa system dot out, ingekuwa ina print something out. And I hope you get the syntax. So if I want to print out that name, I'll come and say system dot out dot print. I don't like that. So I'll select that one. Then inside here, no. Inside here, we shall print whatever the user atakuwa input. So whatever the user atakuwa input, it will be stored on a variable called my name as a string. As a string, then the system will print it out. So let's try and run this one, Shift F6. It's already running. Of course, I'm going to display. It's waiting for us. So my name is Java. Like so. Then you press on enter, it should print the same thing. Yeah, so my name is Java is what we input, then it may share the same thing. You can try it with something else. Did I press Shift F6? I'm pressing Shift F6. Okay, I can say this is my code. This is my code. Then in a print out, this is my code. So what is happening here? First, it's when this program may run, ikifika kwa hii line ina pause. It is pausing why? Ina pause inatuongoja sisi to enter something. Anytime you need something from the user, system huwa ina pause inangoja the user input something. Once I input, it will continue with running ama processing. So ilifika hapa ikatungoja tukaweka our name. Once tume input our name, inakuwa stored kwa hii variable, then it continues. Of course, the continuation is printing out whatever is stored in that variable. I hope that one is clear. I'll try it with we're going to use it a lot in this today. We're going to use it a lot. So don't worry if you don't get it. For now, just know this line is very, very important. Forget the rest, but don't forget this one. We create an instance of that scanner for us to use it. Now your instance AC utakuwa tunashinda tukitumia all along. I don't want to delete this. Alternatively, instead of us storing whatever the user will input in a variable, then print it out, we can still do it directly by let me delete this one. So instead of us having here the variable, we shall have sc dot next line. Next line is over here. Like so. So for this one, then ukisema hey, it will print hey. So it's still the same thing. Nile, because I'm trying to use as less code as I can. So for this one, it will print out. Then when it prints out, it's printing out for the user to input something. Whatever the user will input data print out is more of the same like kitu tumefanya sahi. So that is how we use a scanner in Java. Then there's a little bit of differences tukisonga huko mbele, but anyway, we shall see that one when we shall be designing our calculator. Before I go to the calculator thing, we have talked about a variable. A variable inakuanga na type, the name, then of course the value. The value is what you give it, what you assign. For instance, if I want to create a variable here to be storing at the age of some people somewhere, so the variable name I can call it age. Then this equal sign, it's called the assign operator. Its work is to assign some value to the variable. Remember, a variable is just like a container. It's like a container. Inabeba kitu. So anytime you declare a variable, ni kama container iko empty. Ukiassign something, umeweka ndani, ka something imebeba. So within that program, it will be using that. So anytime unaitaka, you just call the variable. It has whatever you assign it. So for instance, this can be int age, then I can like so int age is 23. So 23 is like this juice, iko ndani ya this container. So the container is now the variable. So anytime I'll be using this container, I'll be getting the juice. Like so. If you want to print out age here, I'll just do like that. System.print out age. It should be able to give me what? It should be able to give me 23. And 23 is whatever age in a container. Age is just a container. I wanted that concept to sink in you because 95% of what we are doing, we are literally dealing with variables of different types, of course. Then before I move to anything, the statements in Java tunatumianga, the ones we have, we have the if statement and we have what we call the switch statement. Those are the only two. Najua, if you have done programming before, meet, but I'll explain them and how to use them and when to use them, of course, and how. But before that, I want us to create a new class, a new Java class. So simply right click on your package and say new, then select class. Class name, we shall call it calculator. Calculator. Sorry, we're not in a grammar class, but I think it's very much correct. So class name unaweka hapo, then you click on it. You can see I'm using a small letter, but Java, it means I in a mambo because anytime I run, you'll be seeing the C in capital. But I don't know if you want to rename that class, simply come here and write in capital C. It will give you this error because it wants you to rename your file. Simply select rename file to calculator. So you're going to make a very simple calculator, and this calculator of ours will be, it's going to prompt the user to enter some two numbers, then it will add the number, then give the result to the user. Nikitutuka ni kama program ya kuadd two numbers. Something very simple. So one thing we'll need our main method, because of course everything to run lazima iko within the main method for Java to run. So main method is public static void main, then of course we have a string, we have this bracket inside, and outside we have AGS. Yeah, I think that's it. But see, this has more gram. If you don't, of course, anytime you create a project, you'll always see it here. So you can always go back and copy. But the more you do it, the more it is stuck now. This thing you won't be struggling with them. So our code will go here. So tumesema tunatengeneza program ya add two numbers. So first thing, of course, we'll be taking something from the user. We'll need the scanner. So above here, I'll create an instance of the scanner. How do we do that? We type scanner, of course, S is capital. We can call it scan equals to new scanner, and that scanner is still the same as the other one, capital S. Then up underneath to say system dot in. So then remember, every statement in Java is terminated with a semicolon. Then click on this one, of course, because we want to import it. Importation yetu ndio hii hapa juu. I'm avoiding unnecessary typing. Na pia plus you get used to those shortcuts. They're usually very helpful when you're coding anything. All right, so our program tunataka tukianza, kitu ya kwanza hapo juu tuambie ni nini. Yezi anza tu like ni kama show ya comment hujui itaanza namna gani. So of course we'll want to print something else. So system.out.println. And remember, we say ln, it a print na iende kwa the next line. If you use print without ln, it will print and stop there. We did a few examples last time. So nasema kitu kama welcome to our program. Welcome to calculator. Something of the sort. I can put the slash back T is for space. How do you put slash back T? Slash back T. Slash back. Keyboard yang slash back. That is hash. So that means hash is what? No, really. Anyway, let me leave it. Welcome to our calculator. Then what else are we doing? Of course, welcome to our calculator hapo juu. Then hapa chini, allow me to copy paste because I'm naturally lazy in typing. Copy. Then below that, we wanted to say, please follow the prompt. Please follow the prompt. to add two numbers, like so. So it has a welcome, please follow the prompts on two numbers. Then what else? We want to tell the user to enter the first number. Of course, to tell them, if you have done Python, I know you're questioning yourself about my indentation. In Java, it's not an issue. Indentation ni hiyo how much a line inaingia ndani. Kama hii public unaona iko kana kabisa, hii imesonga ndani kiasi, hii ilikuwa imesonga ndani sana. We call it yeah, I can't pronounce that name. Indentation. Yeah, very useful in Python, in Java, very useless, but very helpful if you want to, especially tukitumia statements, they'll come in handy. So of course, tumemwambia for the prompts to add two numbers. So the first thing we shall tell them, enter number one. Enter number one. Check so. Then we put a semicolon. So tutamwambia enter number one. Enter. Of course, we shall need the scanner. So above here, let me just create the variables I'll be using. And of course, due to tunataka accuracy, in case to pattern a very long decimal, it is always safer for you to use what? Double. Double is a type of variable to sum last time. My time is here 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes to break. Let's deal with this calculator. Double, then we shall have now one, of course, which will be the first number, number two. And then, of course, then we shall have something like result, terminate the statement. Just like the other programming languages in OOP, that is object-oriented, you can declare a number of variables on the same statement. Bila kuenda double num one, double num two, double num. Simply write double, then separate the name of the variables with a comma. So num one, comma, space, num two. But if you kill the space, I'm sure. I know in Java 8, it is still okay. Yeah? Also, it is still okay. So num1 is the first variable, comma. So kazi inabaki tu ni kuassign. So what is the value of num1? So tunakuja hapa chini, we say, because after tumeambia the user enter num1, we want the user to input something. So we say num1, the value of num1 equals to whatever the user will enter. And of course, whatever the user will enter to get it is scan dot next. And I want to explain whatever I wanted to explain. It will be next double. Why are we next double? If you're using an integer and you want to get an integer from the user, tunatumianga next integer. If it's a double, it's next double. If it's a float, it's next float. If it's a string, it's next line. So the one I did previous, I was using next line because it was a string. So nikisema next double na user andike kitu kama their name instead, it won't take it because their name is not a double, it's not a number. So it won't be able to take. It's just another way of directing it. You can still use next line and convert the string to an integer or a double, but it's usually better if I explain that when we have a GUI. Tukikuwa na GUI, because anytime you're using a GUI, it is always a text. Na hakuna anytime itakuuliza when there's something it's a number, I mean expect a number, unless you could direct. Anyway, in this few minutes, let's see if we can be done with that. So system.out, enter num1, then hapo chini na pause, aende num1. Akienda num2, akienda num1, I mean, let me just copy this. Totally I'm lazy. It's a good thing. You don't need to be lazy. So below here, after the user ameenda num1, it should go to the next one, which is now enter num2. Then he pause to enter num2. Then this num2 will be stored in the variable called num2. Num1 it was stored in variable called num1. This variable I already declared that for you. Then after kuenda hizo mbili, it will do the calculation. Of course, the calculation is result. So result will be equal to the value of that is addition of num1 and num2. So simply num1 plus, yeah, 2. Terminate. Please be remembering to terminate your statement. But the good thing with Java is anytime you don't terminate, itakwambia mara hiyo umefanya makosa. That is a good thing, because in a compile line by line. So even before you come and run your thing. Okay, sasa. So result itakuwa the value of result, ama container result, itakuwa ina contain summation of num1 and num2. Then we'll want to print that one, of course, to the user. So system dot out dot print ln. Then what are we printing? We can we can say the summation, the addition of numbers is equal. We leave a space. And in Java, if you want to combine two statements, whether they're string and an integer, we usually use the plus sign. So you say plus, then the name of the variable, result, like so. I'm sure someone is floating, but don't worry, let me just run this one. And welcome to our calculator. Please follow the prompt toward two numbers. Enter num1. Okay, 6. Enter num2, 5.7. Then it tells you the addition of the numbers is 11.7. Of course, 6 plus 5.7 is 11.7. So if you come up chini visible, anyway, I can make it larger. But if you're using a phone, I'm sure it's much more visible. But whatever we have here is 5.7, then this is the addition. So what is happening here? First of all, it'll run this first print statement. Forget about the two, it won't run any of these, because I require anything. So it will run this one. Welcome to our calculator. It will come and print out again this one, follow the prompt here. Then it will print out this one, enter num1 like so. Then it will pause. Why? Because we have this one. Because we are having a scan. A scan is this variable here. Aka tulitengeneza from initializing the scanner package. So here, because it's any time tunaandika tu scanner.next double, the computer knows that it needs to wait for the user to input something. So ukirani program itarun hadi hapa, alafu pause. If you don't give it anything, it won't coordinate back up. But if you give it something, it will go to the next line. Okay. Let me now try to confuse it and input something like num1, then I can put num1, then something like so. Later on. Why? Because num1 is expected to be a double and ER is not a double. So itakupea easy error. So now I can now explain now the importance of a GUI. Such things huwezi taka kwa the user, because user anaweza taka tu kuipima bangi, because if you have something like you'll try and see if I add a plus 8 alipea nini. Anyway, so to avoid such errors, because the user cannot understand this one. So that's why unakutengenezanga GUI. And there's something called error handling. For now, ni wewe, you as the user, but for you at least you know why it's giving you that error. So that is our simple calculator. You can try yours. You can try one for subtracting two numbers. Simply change the operator here. Alafu inakupatia whatever you want. So after the break, we're going to have a break in 2 minutes. After the break, I'll explain a few of what we call math operators and their differences na vile tunazitumia pia in Java. Then we shall talk now about statements. One of them, the how and the when and the why we use them. Yeah, then we shall call it a day. But before your break, because it's coming in 2 minutes, I want to use it somewhere else. So this is our calculator. I'll save this one. If you have your phone, I can give you, let me see. I can give you 5 seconds, you screenshot, in case you want to use it later, because, but anyway, you can screenshot, but you can still find the video. Itakuwa uploaded, then I'll be sending you the link. Because najua nikiambia watu go to this channel, inapea watu trouble kiasi. So I'll be uploading, then I send you the link, ama nieke link kwa class. Yeah, si zote, but most of them, kama hii yenye nafeel ni more important. Ama pia kama unaona unataka lecture fulani, maybe you missed a lecture in week 1 ama week 2. Now you want to do a recap and you can't find it in your classroom, you just request me, I give you a link and you watch what happened. Anyway, let me go back to variable. This one here. Then from this side menu, see this side, I mean navigation. If you check very well these classes, kuna moja iko na something green hapa, hiyo ingine haina. That green thing under that class, it just implies that that class is the main class in that project. Haimaanishi kitu ingine, because I remember there's a time I was using it, then there was a confusion like, kwani class iko na kakitu ka green, what does it mean? It's a question, you can find it on Stack Overflow, but of course the answer is obvious. It is the main class. So after the break 2 ni 3 minutes, so please take 3 minutes, kunywa maji yako, do a little bit of stretch up, then come back. The link is still the same. Tuki come back to kamalizia. Yeah, I think hivyo tu.